Once upon a time, Star was like, I want you to do all of my classes on YouTube videos. It took how many years to get me to do this, where I didn't feel like an idiot or an asshole. A long time. 2014 is when I left her. So it took me 6 years afterwards. I was so afraid of doing all of this YouTube work and then nobody would like it, or I would only have a few people doing the class, etc., etc. I was so afraid of failure that I didn't even bother trying. And so it took me hiding in the background teaching Kabbalah to like a couple people for me to build up my own understanding of all of it, to feel confident about what I was doing. And now I feel confident about all of it. So I understand how it works. I understand how it's influenced my life. So I was lacking a bit of the, I guess, I don't want to say the self-realization component, but definitely the integration component. A little bit of the self-realization component, but it fits really nice into the Kabbalah program. I like this class because it has a more Netzakian vibe instead of Hode, which is like light language, where you're writing grids and like da 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 da. So it's just different. It's the soul power. It makes me feel like I'm in charge. Whereas light language, it's like, you guys get to be in charge when I tell you the rules. Whereas this is like me handing you something from a higher space in Netzach. So it feels good. And it should feel good to you guys too. Maybe not at first, maybe later. If you are a student and you have talked to me and you want to ask me about like, what do I think you should have? Like the Tara, like if you're watching this video, the Tara, and you have questions, or like, mostly because you're so sometimes unsure of what the direction you want to go into, I'll help you out. Just write me. Put what you think you want, and then I'll go, yeah. I really want to get like emerald tablet papers or something to write these initiations on for you guys. Something special. If you can go to a store and buy a piece of green special paper, like from those special paper stores, and then get a nice pen and then do the calligraphy work and then put it in your sacred book, that would be cool. If you can do it on recycled special green emerald paper, that would be even better. That paper is going to exist. You're not creating a demand by buying one piece of paper. So, but try to be creative. See if you can get handmade paper. That would be even nicer. Or let's get really creative. Whatever your initiation was, to buy a certain type of cloth and have it sewn in. And you can then either label it, put that cloth on the inside of a book, like as the book cover, or it'd be nicer on the inside of the book. I want to say on a pillow, if you want, if you want that. But these are just ideas on like how to make it more sacred. If you want to sew it yourself, like if you even know how to do needlework, that'd be really cool. If you don't, you can hire somebody who does on Etsy and pay them for it. It's a good karma payment. Especially if you have some money to spend. It'd be good to have gold or silver thread on like green background. Anything else? Or you can have green sparkly thread on green background, and that's like the emerald tablet, so it's green on green. I feel like that's the grid. And then maybe darker green in the thread than a more emeraldy green on the background. So that's a nice healing magic. Reminds me of the hermetic magic that Star had us do, the needlework. I thought it was so unimportant that hermetic magic that she broke down and was like needleworking. And what it was is that I put the water element in my healing with my mother position. And even if it wasn't about me healing with my physical mother, it was definitely with Mother Earth. Definitely. My physical mother is a hard cookie to crack. Like really hard. But it still helped. A lot. So that hermetic magic needlework was pretty intense. We have now done the crown, robe, and ring on part 1. We did the scepter, shield, tunic, and breastplate in part 2. We will do the book, sword, and gloves in part 3. And then part 4, we will do the lights and the footwear. So part 4, I will also do the breakdown of what each of these is for on a deeper level. Just so you make sure that you understand the deeper teachings of each thing. All right, so now we go, the book. The book is kind of like a wand, a little bit. It's 6:30 in the morning. I feel like an old lady. I wake up at midnight and I work. Wow. Meditation book. This book brings stillness and silence to new levels inside and outside of you. This book is for people who are doers learning to be beers. To experience this book, it's the meditation book. The diplomacy book. Feel like Elijah wants that book, but doesn't know if he does or not. Diplomacy book. The diplomacy book lets you say and be the way that creates the least friction while holding your truth. This book is powerful because when used frequency, it will create leadership skills in the user. To use this book, on a slip of paper, write your name. We'll do that again. It's funny that I was talking about the tablet and the paper and then putting it in the book as we're about to start the books. Was that planned? No, that was God's plan. The personality book. The personality book lets you see where and when the personality gets in the way of the essence and the soul. To see this in others. This is for Elijah. To see this in the others and ourselves can provide gentle paths to mastery. To use this book, I should just take that sentence out. If you identify as a hipster and all of your friends are fucking hipsters, it's narcissism, not soul. Definitions book. This book defines your essence. I can't even read right now, and I don't even know why. This book defines for you the essence of an object, place, person, or organization. This book will help you make decisions. It also gives you a foundation for discernments. To use this book, so this is for Spielberg, definitions book. The purpose book. The purpose book tells you the purpose of others. Not even Lucy wants that one. This book is great for therapists and practitioners to guide their clients. To use the purpose book, man, can't even stop myself. All right, now Lucy wants this one. The maps book. The maps book gives you direction in all areas of life. It shows you the maps of other people's minds and agendas. And this is where Lucifer Yoda comes in. Jedi Lucifer. Charlie wants the learning book. Okay. The learning book opens up to the world of retention. It's very Charlie energy. It holds on to the information important to your purpose and leads you to details of other studies that create a matrix of wisdom. Then we have the teaching book. That's stars. The teaching book brings the skills of a master teacher to your heart and mouth. Use this book before a class you are teaching or before you write notes. So the teaching book just helps you teach in good ways. She's an excellent teacher. I'm not gonna teach people how to read. They can, if they want to read how Star writes down how to activate all of it, they can. But I have a whole other magic. The growing book. This is for me. And Mother Andromeda too. A growing book brings the tools, elements, and energies together to have anything or for one to blossom to their greatest potential. The growing book works on small and large things, such as communities. So for me, it's bringing the people, places, time, and money together to get the planet fixed. The building book and the community together to get it fixed. The building book. This book has all the facts you need to build anything physical or esoteric. It carries the spiritual, mental, and physical alignments that take matter all the way to the manifestation. If Simon's watching this is a good book for him. He can choose his own initiations. The healing book. Books bring knowledge and facts. The healing book is a reference containing all the healings ever occurred for every sort of disease and illness. To access this knowledge, it's again to use this book. All right, so the book. The book is there to give you new knowledge and insight. Like reading a book, the same thing. The swords. It's the masculine component. Archangel Michael already gave it to me, so here it is, the King Arthur sword. It's not that you accept King Arthur's sword, rather, are you worthy to wield it? Many are pretenders for this sword. You'd have to unite a planet to do it. If it is indeed your sword, your responsibility is great. This makes me feel ashamed for every actor on the planet that's ever played King Arthur. Like it's a joke. Why wasn't King Arthur on the Hode movie list? There wasn't a good enough version yet. And Outlaw King did that energy justice. The end result will be the mythical Camelot. See, if I'm Morgana and King Arthur, then I don't have to worry about killing off King Arthur. It's pretty funny. It's the point. A real King Arthur wouldn't see Morgana as an enemy. That's why he died. A real King Arthur would unite witches and muggles to do God's work on the planet. The witches will turn into masters, wizards, and the muggles will turn into saints. And they will get to exist. The ones that choose to rebel and fight instead will end up killing themselves through sheer stupidity and stubbornness. Crazy wisdom is always allowed because it's still wisdom. To wield King Arthur's sword, you need mastery over chivalry. You would have to take everything that I have proposed and be able to do it for the Dragon King. Everything. So if you think you're more worthy than me, by all means, please show up and make whatever I've done or proposed better. It's work and responsibility. All right, the Michael sword. It's different than King Arthur's sword. I feel Lucy wanting this one or to play with it. The sword of Michael, the archangel, is two-edged. It's a double-edged razor blade. One edge is destruction, and the other is creation. This is why Hode sucks, because it's boom, boom. It's both. And it's there on the pillar of severity, so you eat shit first, so then you can graduate into Netzach. So you take the hit of truth, and it's pain. Boom, 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 boom. So you take the hits up front, and then Netzach comes in, and then you can hold your own in Netzach and not drown because the mermaids hate you. if the mermaids hate me, they're definitely gonna hate you guys. Just perspective. That's why Michael comes in first. So you guys don't drown in idiocy. The kindness sword. The kindness sword. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's finish the Michael sword. One edge is destruction, and the other is creation. Right use of the sword is essential. One edge is as important as the other. Use it wisely. They're both. So Lucifer is just as important as Dino Star. So the black dragon and the white dragon are both important. Kindness sword. I feel like this is why I need to give direction. Archangel Michael's tickling my direction finger. So in Hode, you'll see that it's the Hermes grid. You'll see a lot of the black and white checkerboards when you're dealing with Hode also. It's also the lower reflection of Hokmah, which is the black and white checkerboard, because that's what gray is. Black, white, black, white, black, white, black, in pixel format. The sword is also black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white. Hermes energy. Okay? Is that not enough? Use it wisely. Elijah, I will kill you if you don't show up. So what does that do? So was that evil? Or was that good? That's Archangel Michael. The kindness sword. The kindness sword is a special one in that its use cuts through the veil of our own separatedness. Kindness shown has ramifications as it's passed from person to person. It brings us together in our higher nature. Shay was very good with this. Freeman's very good with this. Like small acts of kindness daily. And fun. The truth sword. Lucifer wants this but doesn't want this. I understand. Lucy likes to use lies to tell truths. Because that's his way of rebelling against the anger. Because then he gets off on the trickster element. And it's that helps him. The sword of truth cuts through debris of doubt illusion, and uncertainty to what is true and endearing. Use it to get to the heart of the matter. That's why Lucy would do it. Or chooses it. Lies shatter like glass before the truth sword. So Lucy likes use it to get to the heart of the matter, and Lucy doesn't like lies shatter like glass before the truth sword. So he wants it, but he doesn't want it. So we'll see. The injustice sword. This is Charlie wants this one. Wrongs are righted with the wave of this, the injustice sword. This sword tips the scales in favor of what is just and right. No longer will we make right. Use this sword sets chains of events in motion that ultimately bring justice. I'm seeing the bigger picture here, that as I give my dragons tools of empowerment, it also helps because they're my team. The time sword. Man, I've used this one before. The wave of time sword makes all things come to pass. All comes to him who waits. A time and season for everything under the sun. The wielder of the sword brings the realization that a lifetime is but a speck of time. This is for Elijah, but it's not used to be reductive, which is the natural inclination in his seedy little brain. Somehow this lifetime doesn't matter because all of these other lifetimes exist. The illusion sword. The sword of illusion, also termed the Maya Masher, severs what appears to be so truth can be revealed. And this is for Spielberg. Beauty and awe await the participant in the swordplay. Alternate realities are discovered layer by layer until you come to be in the innermost realm. Do you guys see the patterns of what these people are growing into? Spielberg's has a theme. Elijah's has a theme. Charlie's and Lucy's are a little easier to establish. I'm not sure you guys see the theme because I don't see the theme as strongly with them. Whereas Spielberg and Elijah, I see the theme very strongly. Stars is kind of a little bit more thematic. The Karma sword. This is stars. Use the sword of karma. Cause and effect become instantaneous. What goes around comes around. Always has been true. However, with Karma sword, your feedback is immediate. Be careful what you use it on. The freedom sword. Dumb at the end of it. Old habits and bondages are broken, severed, and loosed with this sword. Keep the freedom sword always at the ready, for these things have a way of gaining hold again. Remember, there's a price for freedom, and it's worth it. Why is there a dumb at the end of free? There's a couple. It's freeing yourself from dumb. That's the real teaching. Dumb at the end of it. The work, discipline it would take to be free makes you a slave to God. Just constant brick building, discipline, training. So the energy of needing to feel like you're a free person is only going to keep you never grounded, never getting anywhere, always running away, and never solving anything. So you're not free at all. The slavery sword. Be careful in using this sword that you do not become a slave. Be careful in using this sword that you do not become a slave to yourself. The slavery sword. It is a truism that what we seek to subdue and enslave, we become entrapped by. And if you would own anything, set it free. It comes back. It's truly yours. So here's the deal. I can call you guys my slaves all I want. I don't even have to do anything. If I've graduated the mirror prism and you guys haven't, you guys are slaves. And I am free. You guys are slaves to your own idiocy, your illogic, your non-rational behavior. You guys are slaves to materialism, bondage, sex, feelings, emotions. You guys are slaves to food. You guys are slaves to drugs and coffee. You guys are slaves to feeling good. You guys are all slaves. So you guys are all my slaves because I've renounced almost everything. I did that on the beach. I give up my life for God. Let's see what happens. That's power. The health sword. You guys are slaves to other people's opinions. Just that's enough. The hell? And wait, you guys are slaves to lies and protecting yourselves. It's pretty bad. I'll tell you something about Charlie. I'll do a wall sit. And Charlie eggs me on to make sure I feel that burn deeper, so that I break through my shit instead of run away from it. You guys are slaves, just doing a plie and trying to avoid the pain that it would take to do it gracefully. It's fun to get high on pot and to feel all the energy that you're trying to hide from, and then process through it and watch it change. That's real stuff. All right. Charlie's like, enough patting yourself on the back. All right. We got Charlie's. We got Elijah's. We got Spielberg's. We got Stars. We don't have Lucy's yet, because we didn't say yes to the truth one. The Freedom Sword. Old habits and bondages are broken. Is that Lucy? I don't know. The Slavery Sword. The Health Sword. Lucy wants the Health Sword. No. The old proverb. An ounce of prevention. Oh, this is a Lucy teaching. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Applies to holding the health sword. This is also my teaching. I would rather prevent cancer than heal it. So Star will be the best cancer healer, and I'll be the best cancer prevention. That's my job. If you watch and observe the small things about health, you likely won't be dealing with the larger ones. Use this sword to channel healing energies. You will not be disappointed. All right, that's Lucy's. The Spirit Sword. Oh, the teaching from Lucifer. Never forget the direction. A good defense is always better than a good offense. You will, with a good defense, you will win. With a bad defense, you will die, or you will win. But you will still be better. That came from Lucifer. was one of the most beautiful teachings I've ever heard in my life. A good defense is better than a good offense. A good defense, you will win. A bad defense, you will die or you will win, but you will still be better. You have to understand, for me to gain that kind of teacher required me to be tortured to death. To understand all the evil on this planet so I could start defending myself against it. I'm really disgusted with Steve. I put a picture of Ray. He says, "Too much Gabriel?" I want to vomit. Ray is the archangel, healer, princess. And that's too much Gabriel? I should just fall on King Arthur's sword, because if one of my students who's an old soul think that that's too much Gabriel, he has some fucking issues. There is no such thing as too much Gabriel on a planet where every human's a fucking narcissist. At all. Gabriel is divine boundaries being set. Defensive boundaries. I am so embarrassed that that lesson has still not penetrated Steve's genius brain. Your power, Steve, comes from your boundaries. You know nothing about nothing about nothing. Steve, you have a dragon you don't even know how to work with. You're not even grateful. Feel Monica Potter coming in. and yelling at me some more. Princess. Spirit sword. Bring this sword with you to enlist the aid of the spirit world. There are those willing and able to assist you at all times and in all circumstances. Monica's coming in for her spirit sword. First, you need to ask, remember, the spirit world did not forget gratitude. That's what Monica came in to get. Like a She-Ra princess. She's strong in the astral planes, by the way. Really strong. She's just as bitchy as Star. In a good way. And very, very warrior. And very strong. High boundaries, high sensitivity. The gloves. The detail gloves. So the gloves is where you create. It's the filter you put on your hands for how you experience the world. How you handle the world. How you handle others. For me, it's create. How I handle my art. The detail gloves. Gloves let you handle things in a consistent manner. Detail gloves train you to handle the details with ease and efficiency. This is really good for a secretary or a personal assistant that juggles 50,000 things. You find yourself taking and doing tasks as if you had been doing them all your life. Wear these gloves if you are a procrastinator. 1 year. Now, I said deliver me for these gloves. And the reason why is because it's my natural inclination. I'm not sure I'm going to keep them. Organization gloves. I know why I did it. Gloves let you handle things in a consistent manner. It's like, no matter how busy this class gets, I'm still going to be able to produce all of the material on schedule in a consistent and orderly way. That's why I did it. I'm not intuitively owning this yet. So we will see how this plays out. The organization gloves. Organization gloves let you find the appropriate place for everything the first time you handle it. They let you sweep into a project and reorder things with insight and follow-up in mind. Wearing these gloves will get you on a lot of committees. I don't know, Elijah. Maybe not. Precision gloves. Alignments can become second nature while wearing these gloves. The most difficult alignments in emotions and mind are handled with synchronicity. These gloves are great for therapists and judges. Wear these gloves with divine timing in mind. That's not a bad choice for me either. I would still choose detail over that. Kindness gloves. Remember, all charity work comes from the heart. Kindness gloves. Open up the door to give unconditionally. Wear these gloves when working in areas where you have little experience and fewer resources to fall back on. The heart always knows. I need to give you guys that one-way mirror teaching again. Because if you guys think that I need these kindness gloves, it's because you guys need these kindness gloves. So Spielberg. Elijah, maybe. Neither of you have been kind to me at all. At all. You guys don't even produce value on the planet so that I could, receive the benefits of all the great deeds you've done. I haven't seen it. Not even psychically. Not in night school. It's nowhere. Philanthropy gloves. Be ready to support most causes as you don these gloves of leadership and generosity. Become the focus of social and artistic groups as you help the financial and material planes of others. Wear these gloves after you have more than enough for yourself. Now, I have more than enough shaman wisdom knowledge than I could ever handle. And I'm still getting more. It's overflowing through me. That's where my philanthropy glove would be. Okay? I'm overabundant in Kabbalah. I'm overabundant with all of this shaman. It's the same thing. There's charity. It pours through me. I can give freely. Generosity gloves. These green colored gloves, when worn, start the circulation flow of manifestation. What is given fully returns the same way. This is for Elijah, and Spielberg can have the kindness gloves. That would be more appropriate. The saying, not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, apply here. When this is the case, manifestation is gentle, easy, and quick. I have never met anybody in my entire life take a cigarette out of my mouth, smoke it, and then in the mid-sentence of me asking a question, walk away. I have never met anybody so self-absorbed, so full, there is no generosity in you, Elijah. Zero. Not with your time, love, and nothing. Attention span, zero. That's the healing. The receiving gloves. Black is the color of these powerful gloves. Putting them on your hands means that you will be doing some house cleaning. In order to receive, you must first let go of the unused and unnecessary. Holding on to the past is counterproductive to the future unless you want what you've always gotten. Lucy wants the healing gloves. Gloves of a blue-green color are to be put on for healing. When the energy of the unhealthy habit has created disease, realignment necessitates a greater counterbalancing influence or influx of blue-green healing rays. Nice is not a word used to describe one who would wear these gloves. However, the word real is. So that's for Lucy. Does Charlie want that too? The wisdom gloves. The golden gloves of wisdom can only be worn by one who has paid his debt, his or her dues, in the school of experience. Many trials and errors have had to be experienced and learned from. Failure as well as success have to be valued for teachers. They are. Pros and cons must be weighed, and your intuition must be followed. This is really good for Charlie. What you guys don't get is Charlie is like not the same as Lucifer. Again, you guys think about yourselves. Lucy is like the wisdom alpha, and Charlie's still learning. And Lucy's so quick, and Charlie's still learning. It's like the difference between Han Solo and Yoda. It's like embarrassing to Charlie because you guys aren't even a fraction as wisdom as Charlie is. You guys are so gross. And then you would look down on Charlie because somehow you think you're better than him because of the comparative value. Charlie's still a million times more powerful and more wisdom than you guys are. I can feel Charlie being embarrassed, and that's sad. They have feelings. Like, I'm ashamed I'm not as old as Lucifer is. It's pretty, sucks. Even the eggs, the dragon eggs that Charlie gives versus the one that Lucifer showed me are very, very different. So Charlie gets the wisdom gloves. Politics gloves. The politics gloves are colored pink. And this is what makes Charlie feel better. Because Lucifer compared to God, it's a very similar comparison. Because God's like a million times more advanced than Lucifer is. It's weird. The politics gloves. Politics gloves are colored pink. People in human nature must be your concern to wear these. Yeah, I'm not. This is not me. I'm not a politics gloves kind of girl. Star can be, but she's not really. Did Star choose any? Not yet. I think Star is going to choose the wealth gloves. You must be clear of your objectives when you put them on. There are ways of saying the same thing, which either makes parties compliant or rebellious. See, the fun thing about me is I'll inspire them to become rebellious just so I have the excuse to break them. Like a demon hunting. That's my fun. Wealth gloves. Pearlescent white colored gloves are worn by those with or seeking wealth. Be careful what you ask for while wearing these. Like the mythical Midas touch, you may not want everything to turn to gold. I understand. It creates a little bit of a mind issue. Star is gonna get the wisdom gloves or the healing gloves. I don't know, the wisdom gloves. There was nothing that really popped out. So I still think I'll stick with the detail gloves or the philanthropy. Detail. It's my little bit of practicality. Lights. And then we have footwear. So that's it for part 3.